In Silicon Valley, disruption's everybody's favorite buzzword. But some of history's best inventions actually come from augmenting what's already there. Ziba, a design consultancy in Portland, took that spirit to heart. And they wondered what everyday activity could we reinvent with just a little bit of technology. And what they came up with was a radical new way to send letters and packages.
Signet is a different approach to shipping. Rather than finding a stamp and looking up somebody's address, you simply take this laser engraving stamp. You push it onto the parcel or the letter, it burns in a unique identifier that's computer scannable, and you leave it outside. Everything else is digital, everything else is modern. Your phone buzzes and says, your package has been picked up, where would you like it to go? And you go into your contact list and you say, I want it to go to her. Once the package is en route, you can reroute it, you can speed it up, you can split the cost with whoever's going to receive it. That's how it should be.
The goal of Signet is really to take an experience that is mostly filled with frustration that we sort of just deal with and turn it into one that is delightful and memorable. One of the things we really wanted to fix was this idea that I need to have postage to send something. And so that's why the Signet uses a laser marker. It's a circular mark. In the center is your initials or whatever you want that to be, so that's custom to you and that's your unique identifier. Then there's a pattern of dots that are laid in a circle pattern around that mark, and that is basically your tracking code. And then there's a dynamic security pattern. It's actually called the gouache pattern, which is used in currency for security also. And so the idea is that you would mark a custom gouache pattern on top of all that to make sure that it couldn't be counterfeit and it was unique and one of a kind. We actually were able to take a lot of inspiration from the old wax seals. You would dip this big heavy metal object in melted wax and you would seal your scroll with it, and that would be your mark. And so we really took a lot of cues from that, because there's a real satisfaction between this sort of, lift, press, stamp, very simple, very satisfying. And so when we designed the object, we were really looking at, one, evoking that form. So it's got a base. That base is actually where the charging component is held, and you lift it off, and the stamp is on the bottom of the object. So it's very reminiscent of those old wax seals. And then we started to think about, well, if this is something that, like one of those seals, represents your crest or your family, it should really be something that's made of natural materials.
So the process in which we made it, because we wanted to use real materials, we wanted to use woods, we wanted to use metals, and we used some very traditional manufacturing. Actually, we went and used the lathe, we used the CNC machine, and we used different ways to combine those materials together. It feels weighted, it feels substantial, it feels like you mean business with it a little bit, and it feels like a device that is here to last and not be replaced.
The most exciting piece for me actually is that it frees up the whole front of the package of the envelope. So if I'm sending a letter to somebody, it actually makes it more human, I think, because now I get to write and draw all over the face of that letter so that when they get it, they know immediately this is from Malcolm, and it's a lot more personal. So it allows you to make shipping more personal, basically.
It's very rare now for you to receive something in the mail that was actually touched by the hands of somebody that you know. And what's exciting to me about this project is it does everything possible to encourage people to start doing that again, to make it as easy as sending a text message. And I find that thrilling.
Something as ubiquitous as mail shows us that we live with friction in our everyday lives, and just by eliminating a little bit of it, you can actually open up a lot of space for delight.